I think we have the sister with us. We'll get started. And very good morning and warm welcome to all of you. It's truly wonderful to see such bright, passionate minds of IT and ITS coming here together, not for a product launch, not for any meeting, but for ourselves. So welcome to this special retreat when the going gets tough. In this peaceful, serene campus of Inner Space Brahma Kumari Shanti Sarovar, Brahma Kumaris is a worldwide socio-spiritual organization which is aimed at building better people and society through the power of meditation and divine wisdom. We are spread across 110 countries, 8,000 centers worldwide. Shanti Sarovar, it's the biggest retreat center of South India, and it is an academy of higher learning with added charm of pleasant surroundings. Brahma Kumaris has more than 20 wings of different sectors, and one of its wing is IT wing, under which every month in Shanti Sarovar we have these SIT programs held through, where we get to learn and inspire ourselves from world-renowned speakers. Before we get started, I want to ask one question to all those IT professionals. So there is a screen that comes up, and when it appears in our screen, we can't do anything. No clicks. No, nothing works. What is that screen? And it generally comes up when we have to do something really important. And you can't do what you really want to do. What's that? Yes. It shows an update. Update, please do not turn off. And once we see that, we feel like, okay, it's going pretty quick. Might be it will be done in a minute or so. But then it gets stuck at that 87%. And we know how it feels. We know how it feels, right? It feels, why is it stuck? Why is it not moving? Right? But behind the scenes, in the background, we know the code is being rewritten, the bugs are getting fixed, the security is strengthening. But let's say out of frustration, we just switch it off. Crash. Nothing would work. Similar things happen with our life. It might appear outside, nothing is happening, no results, nothing is visible. But in the background, you are becoming stronger, right? So, we have the sister, Deepika's sister. We have a sister. Oh, sure. To guide us through this journey, we have Sister Aruna with us. I would like Sister to come on stage, please, Sister. Let's not stop the clapping till she's here. Sister Aruna, she is an experienced meditation teacher with Brahma Kumaris, a speaker on spiritual subjects, and an author. She has spent over 43 years studying, teaching, and facilitating spiritual self-development. She was born in Nakuru, Kenya, and educated in London, England. Her life's journey has taken her across the globe, living in Canada, Turkey, Bahrain, Kuwait, and England. Spending time in USA, Hong Kong, Morocco. She traveled regularly to India and to our headquarters of Brahma Kumaris. She is a certified negotiator in conflict resolution and keen advocate in natural health. She is an author of 8 short books and writes a successful blog. It's time to meditate.org. She is currently based out of Global Retreat Center in Oxford, UK. where she is one of the main coordinators alongside her role within the management team. She facilitates retreat, training programs, and a wide range of self-development projects. As a speaker, her approach is very practical and down to earth, yet infused with a profound understanding of the emotional, mental, and spiritual dimensions of life. She brings a positive vision for the future and a genuine passion for life, which she shares generously with all many peoples she meets. So I would request Sister to take us through this journey when the life gets tough. Thank you, Sister.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So good morning. Are you happy to be here? So it's a different place from where you work. It's a different energy, a different vibration. So just stepping into this place, do you feel a sense of calm and peace? Yeah. So this is what you need to create in your companies. An atmosphere like this. And we can do it easily if we just stop to meditate. So I'm also happy to be here with you this morning. And the topic that they have chosen is when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Have you heard this before? Yes. Yeah. So it's quite an empowering topic. And the premise behind this topic is that you don't stop. You don't freeze like your computer. But in the face of challenge, adversity, you take power, you take charge, and you say, okay, what is it that I need to do? So this is the essence of the topic, and we'll go through it, break it up, and then I'll give you some tips and tools at the end. So I'd like to make sure that all of you have some pen or paper, so that when I ask you questions, you can answer them. So those who need pen and paper, then just raise your hands and our sisters can help. So yeah, they're just coming around. Just forward. Press forward, is it? Humko karna hai? Okay, yeah. Thank you. Okay, just expedite the paper passing, yeah. Right, so the tough get going, right? When the going gets tough, when situations get difficult, so that's a different kind of tough, right? Tough implies that you can't handle it, you can't manage it. It's maybe just beyond your capacity. But then you have to get tough. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean you become difficult. So that's another kind of tough. So here tough means strong. And so we're talking about all kinds of strong. We're talking about mental, emotional. Yeah, just raise your hands in the front, those who need paper. Bhaiya, aage. Oh, he's lost out. He's run out of paper. Just so yeah, tough here means mental, emotional, sometimes physical, because there's a lot to do, so you have to keep going throughout the day. And also means spiritual. And so for this, there's a certain kind of thinking that we need to have. Again, I wouldn't say it's tough thinking, not hard, not strict thinking, but you have to expand your capacity to embrace what is coming to you. And you have to create a very strong attitude that I can cope, I can do it, it's possible. So in essence, what are we saying? It's like a positive mindset. Right? So this is what I mean about tough. So as I said, as we go along, I'll ask you questions. You can also be thinking along with me. So yeah, when situations become difficult or challenging, strong and determined people take action rather than giving up. So it's not about, okay, so again, ask yourself the question. Just take an example. Maybe find an example in your mind now of a situation that you found difficult. You don't have to tell anyone. This is just with you, between you and you. And how did you deal with it? Did you give up? Did you get help? Did you ask for help? Did you find a way? Did Google God help? Who helped? Your own power, inner power? Okay, good. So now let's just walk through that. So a situation comes. I, with my inner power, say, okay, I can handle this. I take charge. I take the steps. What is the end feeling? When I take charge, when I do it? Confidence, happiness, empowered, practice, yeah? Huh? I can't hear you. Yes, I can do it, yeah? Yes, I can do it mindset. Okay, I can do it. Autonomous. Optimism, yeah? So isn't all that good? Isn't it worth the risk to try and attempt? Right? So this is the point, that we don't freeze and we don't become disheartened, but as I said, we take charge. So this is coming back to what we talk about here as self-sovereign. I, the soul, am the master of this body. I take charge of myself, my thoughts, my words, and my feelings. Okay? And my actions. Okay, so toughness is a choice, not just a trait. It's not just going to happen unless you choose to make it happen. Okay, so grit, this is not my making. It's not my creation, but it's a good acronym. So grit, we need grit, right? Grit is this kind of stamina or let's say zeal and enthusiasm to get going. But then grit also stands for growth. I need to feel that I'm growing, that I'm resilient. This is a big word coming up in the world these days. Everything has to be resilient. Like even material has to be resilient. So in the same way, I have to be resilient, no matter what's coming at me, but I should be able to withstand the weather of circumstances. Initiative. Again, what happens is when something happens, I kind of duck down, I step back, I don't want to be involved, I hide in a corner. But it's actually the time, it's an opportunity, so it's actually a time to take initiative. We always say either this is an opportunity or an obstacle. That depends on your mindset. Right? So take initiative, tenacity, again, the power, the strength, the courage, the capacity. So all these are choices. And funnily, in the world, not everyone may like to see you grow. Right? There may be jealousy, competition. So nobody's going to say to you, aage bado. Right? They're going to say, go back. So that's why you have to make a choice. What do I want in life? And then you have to go towards it. Which is what you've done so far, right? You got your education, you got your nice cushy jobs, maybe you're happily married, and you went for it, right? You looked for it, you went for it, now you are where you are. So now what about some other level of mind management, emotional management? This is what we are talking about. So yeah, exercise choice. Choice, we as the human race are Yeah, blessed. I don't want to say only once, but we are definitely blessed that we can make a choice. We can use our intellect. That's why we build all this. That's why science is, advancing every day, because we use our intellect. Are we stopping for that? Do you know about traffic control? Do you know about traffic control, where we stop? Anyway, let's just take a moment, even though it's silent. So 10:30, we stop for a minute and just remember God, and we check the traffic of our mind. Where are our thoughts going? Thank you. So you can try that, right, in your day. We also have different apps that you can download that remind you. The music is played every hour or however you set it. And when the music comes on, you just stop for a few moments and you go back to your inner peace, inner quiet. Just check what's happening in the mind. And then if it's going off somewhere negative, you just bring it back in the present. So let's talk about what is mental toughness. Now, we have lots of mental toughness creating apps, exercises. Again, this resilience mindset kind of idea. But the idea behind this mental toughness is that we're able to stay focused, resilient, and productive under pressure. Because when everything's going well, we're okay. It's when everything's not going well. So let me give you an example. I was just in Mount Abu, where we had our International Teachers Retreat. And there was a flood in Costa Rica. And so they were showcasing some of the events that have happened around the world and how our BKs have handled them. So one sister was in the center when the water started coming. So of course she had no idea that there's a flood. And so initially she saw some water and she put something in front of the door thinking she'll stop the water. But it kept coming and coming and everything was on video. Luckily she was in the presence of mind to take videos. So they had the video of when it's happening and then the video of how it ended up, like after the water left. So the whole of the ground floor. And it was quite a large spread out center in Costa Rica. And a lot of the furniture damaged. The whole floor, they had to pull out the floor and build it again. And then they're showing the third part, which is everyone putting everything back together. And there was about 6-7 boys from a local university who were just going from door to door, asking people, do you need help? Do you need help? And so they came at the right time. This sister said I had to move the furniture, and I was calling out to God saying, help. And then there was this knock on the door. And these boys said, can we help? And she said, yes. And so they helped to move a lot of the furniture that day. But as I'm telling you, when she's sharing this story and the pictures from the videos and pictures, you can tell how really by practicing this meditation over a long period of time, you build a mental strong capacity to deal with things. You know, we have an idea here which is called nothing new, which means that we've seen it before. It's nothing new. So when nothing is new, you know, it's like let's say a movie you've seen before and you're seeing it again. When you see it again, will you have the same reaction? No, because you know. Because you know that I know what's going to happen. All right? So here too, there is an idea of we know everything's going to be okay. And so we're not afraid. We're not surprised. Then there was another showcasing of one sister who came from Venezuela as a refugee. Now, I don't know if you're following the news, but in the USA, remember ICE is trying to send people back, right, to their countries. And so this sister was now living in Peace Village, which is our retreat center in New York, and doing lots of seva. She's a proper local Venezuelan, but somehow made it here to New York as a refugee, doing seva, and then they're trying to get her legal papers. It wasn't happening. And then they finally decided, the seniors there decided it's better that she goes back. Not that she's deported, not that she's imprisoned, but in her right to go back. So the passport is stamped as she left the country willingly, by choice. So of course, initially when she was told that this is the best idea, of course she was a bit taken aback. But afterwards, again, we saw her face on the video. She was taking leave from the class and very strong, very happy to face the next scene. So now she's gone to Germany, and from Germany she's going to go back to Venezuela. So, you know, these are difficult life situations. And more of this is happening. So how are we going to deal with it? So this is what I mean about creating a very strong mind, right? So the trait of a strong mind is it's disciplined and self-controlled. Positive self-talk. What is positive? That I'm constantly talking to myself positively. This morning I was saying you can see something as a demotion or a promotion. That's up to you. You decide how you want to see it. Ability to handle stress, fear, and failure. Again, this is what companies are looking for. The more stress you can take, right, the better employee you are. And they keep throwing more and more. And what is stress? Stress is a mechanical term, isn't it? It's how much stress a beam can take before it collapses. So it's the same for us. They keep putting stuff on us, pressure on us. I hope we don't break, right? But they're waiting to see how much can you take before you break. That's why it's called stress, right? So anyway, we have to be able to manage our stress. We have to turn it around so it doesn't feel like stress. And then, focus, mental endurance and focus actually comes from meditation. So what is meditation? We say in Hindi, dhyan. But dhyan is also attention. Bachcho ko kya kehte hain? Dhyan do. Pay attention. So meditation, dhyan, focus, attention, all the same thing. So the more I practice dhyan, so seeing in one spot, then focusing the mind on one spot, having thoughts in one direction, this is all a discipline of the mind. So that's why sometimes I say this is like a mental gym. You know, you go to the physical gym and you exercise all your muscles. Here, your mental muscles are exercised with everything that's happening. And we have to adjust ourselves. If this isn't happening, okay, we think like this. We should be good troubleshooters, right? But not with just things out there, but with our own self. Yeah. Deal with the pressure. What is spiritual toughness? So here's one definition. The inner strength that comes from a connection to something bigger than yourself. Connection to something bigger than yourself. So some people have spiritual connection with nature, right? Gaia thinking. Or we say God, right? But also things like faith. When you believe in faith, that faith will do everything. When you have strong values, when you have a higher purpose, or belief. Belief is a very big word. I don't just mean religious belief, but when you really believe. And this is what's beautiful about Bharat. We have this word bhavna. When you have bhavna, then bhavna enables things to happen. It's like little children who have bhavna, you know, that this God will give them something, and then God feels compassionate and says, okay, uski bhavna puri karo. And so even God descends for them. So spiritual toughness is about the soul. It's not just mind now. Atma, Ru, soul. How can I strengthen the soul? How do we strengthen the body? How do you strengthen the body? Exercise and food, mainly, primarily, right? So, strength for the soul? Meditation, good. Quick learners. Positive thoughts. Prayer. And so food is thought. You have to keep infusing your mind with positive, 5 P's. 5 P's. Pure, peaceful, positive, powerful, and purposeful thoughts. This has to be the basis, the criteria of your thinking. Pure, peaceful, positive, powerful, and purposeful. It needs to have a purpose, otherwise don't think it. Yeah? Pure-hearted in nature, kind. Peaceful, you know, quiet, calm. Positive, you know, right? So spiritual toughness, what are the traits of that? Sense of peace, meaning, and hope. A deep inner calm even during chaos. Forgiveness, compassion, humility. So this morning we were talking about ego. Ego and self-respect. So ego says, I'm better than you. And lack of self-esteem says, oh, I'm less than you. But what do we say? We say, I'm a soul and you're a soul and we're equal. Just think, if we didn't have the body, all the Atmas would be the same. Isn't it? Yeah, so as souls, we are soul brothers. Brothers, equal. Atma, bhai, bhai. And then we'd have some inner moral and ethical guidance as well. Spiritual people live by ethics, morality, not just kind of haphazardly, jo aya so kiya. No. We think before we think. We think things through, we feel things through. We look at the 3 aspects of it, past, present, and future of this thought. And should I be doing it? And if there is something inside of me that says no, we should have the power to follow that. So there's something called intuition and something called conscience. So lately, like initially I was thinking I have to follow my intuition. But lately I'm thinking that actually I need to follow my conscience. Conscience in Hindi, I think Vivek. Yeah? So what is my conscience telling me? What's the right thing to do in this situation? And then do I have the spiritual power to follow it? Otherwise I'm a hypocrite. I know what's wrong, but I'm still doing it. And then that's where I lose power. That's where I lose confidence. That's where I lose swaman. Right? Okay. So, what's the difference between the two? Because sometimes people still find it confusing. So, mental strength is often about how you handle the challenges, and spiritual strength is often about why you would handle them. Spiritual is about why, right? Which is your deeper purpose, your conviction, your belief, your faith. That's why you would do it. Because you believe that's the right thing to do. Okay, let's talk a bit about emotional resilience now. So as I said, it's this ability. We talk about EQ, IQ, right? It's your ability to deal with what's happening outside of you. And the more we can handle that, and okay, when we say deal with, what does that mean? That means it's happening, but I'm not going to let go of my peace and happiness. That's in essence, isn't it? Deal with doesn't mean I control it. I manage it. Can we control anything outside of ourselves? Anybody tried? Can't control anything outside of us except ourselves. So I say to myself, okay, I see this is happening. I see this one's insulting me. I see this one's talking about me. I see that this is a power game, but I choose to keep my peace and happiness. And why? Because there is power in being at peace and happy. And again, let me emphasize, not just I am peaceful. I am peaceful, but I am at peace with everything. In fact, I don't want anything different. Everything's good as it is. Can I say that? Everything that's happening, all the people in your life, the way your work is going, your boss, I'm happy with everything as it is. Can I say that? There's a few people going, no. So that's the point I need to get to. Because I can't change them. If I can't deal with it, then okay, I might exit. But you know the expression, right? If you resist, it persists. If you can't deal with this person here, you won't be able to deal with that person there. Yeah, because we travel with our bag and baggage. Yeah. So, okay, unless it's really kind of abuse and violence, try and deal with it. Try and see what are the inner powers I can use to deal with this situation. How can I turn it around so it's not affecting me? And then you become greater. It's possible. It's happening. People are doing it. It's not an impossible ask. And then, you feel good because you feel, you know what? Karne do. Jane do, And it's not affecting you. Yeah. So emotional resilience is the ability to adapt to stress, setbacks, emotional pain without being overwhelmed, and to bounce back stronger from adversity. Okay? So, we feel before we think. Think about it. We feel, okay, let's say I enter this room and I don't look at you. You feel before you think. So something gets hurt. Why didn't she look at me? Why didn't she acknowledge me? Why didn't she respect me? It's all subtle, isn't it? Yeah. And then, as it says, our brain survival system reacts before our logic kicks in. Right? So the logic is the thinking, the capacity to think. But before that, we are feeling beings. We feel, which is, again, the soul. Okay? We identify with our emotions, right? So we say, I'm angry when I need to say, I'm feeling anger. So you disassociate yourself from that emotion. So we say emotion is actually energy in motion, right? When it's like this, when energy is going like this. But when I'm in feeling state, it's like this. It's like more of a linear line. So not in this case, not I'm feeling anger, but in this case, feeling is I'm feeling something. But when I'm feeling virtue, it's more a calm, linear state. But here, I'm actually reacting. That's the reaction. So disassociate yourself from what is the actual feeling. So some time ago, now a few years ago, but for almost a month, almost every hour in the day, I was managing my feelings. I was observing my feelings. It's just something I decided to do. And I was putting it down in a diary. So for example, right now, maybe it's not a best case scenario, but right now, how are you feeling? Probably all feeling okay and calm and cool, but maybe somebody's got some anxiety, maybe there's a problem back at home, and you're feeling stressed about it. But just try and tap right now, right? Just try and tap into your feeling. And feeling is not just about how you're breathing, but how are you really feeling? Like, I think I'm feeling good, despite sitting in front of all of you. But that's because I'm working on managing my feelings and emotions. So do you see what I mean? Just maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know quite how to get in touch with your feelings. So work on this. Because our feelings are the barometer of our life. So if you're feeling good, you think everything's going well, right? If you're not feeling good, you say things are not going well. But really, feelings are empowering. Like if I'm in touch with a feeling, I can manage my feeling, I can feel empowered. So try to get in touch with your feelings. And then we avoid emotional discomfort. So instead of facing the pain, we distract ourselves by scrolling, eating, and escaping those situations. So they say that these phones, right, they make near people far and far people close. Because we'll get straight onto our phone even though somebody's sitting in front of us. But that's to escape the moment. That's to escape what's happening in this moment right now. So what's the emotional discomfort? What's going on? Why am I being triggered? And think of the word trigger. So you have a gun and you have a trigger. But you know the word trigger, right? When something upsets you, and you know that meaning, right? Okay, so you have a gun and you have the trigger. But it wouldn't be a trigger if there was no ammunition. There's ammunition in the gun. In other words, there's ammunition in me. Do you understand? There is like barud in me. And that's why something happens and I explode. But if I'm clear of all that negativity, then no matter what happens, even if there are triggers, there won't be an explosion. There won't be a reaction. So this is why we are trying to manage our emotions so that we can deal with life easily, comfortably. If I'm not in good emotion, then I won't be able to speak to someone politely and I won't get cooperation. But you be kind to someone, you speak calmly to someone, and you may get help and cooperation. And you get your job done. See? That's why we need to be calm. Not only that, I mean, some of you may be doctors here, but the stress and the anger and the emotion that creates the anxiety, the adrenaline rush, and it kills years from our life. We don't want that. They say that if you have a big bout of anger, like itna gussa, right? Itna gussa kiya ek baar, so 1 month of your life is taken off. That's what they say. So we don't want that, right? And then, of course, escalation, then de-escalation, all that takes time. So we want to manage our emotions. So just a few other points. Be self-aware, right? I realize what I'm feeling and I stop to ask why. Why am I feeling that? Emotional regulation. I manage my feelings so that they don't control my actions. Because you feel something and you react, right? It's a domino effect. Yeah. Be more flexible, being able to adjust your plans and mindset. So what do they say? They say if you can't control your life, somebody else will. So let us take charge. Let us hold the remote of our life and let us be in charge and make our plans. So I've talked a lot about this already, but it's so important to have purpose in your life. Why are you doing what you are doing? Is life just to what? Eat and sleep and make money? No. It's much more than that. And there's lots of stories about and facts about when I give. And again in Bharat we have this concept, right? Seva, Dan, Punya. We have these ideas naturally. So when I do it freely, voluntarily, I get so much in return. I'm happier. So this is purpose. So just think, everything in this room has a purpose. Have a look. Projector, speaker, clock, camera, mic. Everything has a purpose. What's your purpose? Why are you here? What's your purpose? Just to be with the few people you live with? To be a better version of yourself? And then what? Yeah, so you have to find your purpose, detect your purpose. What are you here to do? What are you here to give? What are you here to share? Who are you here to inspire? That goes much beyond your job, doesn't it? So let's say, for example, you have a maid, a cleaning maid. But she doesn't clean very well. But you like her, you keep her. Because she's got a happy face. She's got a happy persona. or she's honest, or she's kind. So virtues have won over the job. She doesn't know she's living her purpose, but you know that this is what I'm attracted to in this person, is their qualities. So how about you? How about you radiating some quality? Make that your purpose. When we are being a quality, that is also us giving, no? Like, let's say you're just happy. Nobody's asking you to be happy, but you are just happy. Don't people like being around happy people? But if you have a guest and they are gloomy and sad and depressed and negative and complaining, you'll say, "Kab jaan chutengi?" Right? You'll wait for them to leave. So just by being happy, positive, powerful, people love you. So that could be your purpose. I'm just trying to make it simple for you. But yeah, there's lots of other purposes that you can live by. Okay? Okay, so for the next few minutes, there are some pictures that I'm going to put up here. And we'll talk about them together. So just have a look at that picture. And what is it? What do you read? What do you read into that picture? And there's no wrong answer, okay? So don't be shy. He's confident. Very stable. Communicating. Taking the time to communicate. He's putting all his attention to the call. Good listener, kya? He's a good listener. Huh? Quite a messy place. He's still happy? I don't know. Is he happy? I can't see him smiling. His environment is not affecting him. We don't know that, but it looks like that. Yeah. We don't know for sure. Anticipation of what? Okay. Of what may come through. What was that, sir? Connected with outside. Okay. Is that phone plugged in somewhere or no? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just raising the question. He's still focused, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the condition, somebody mentioned messy, but what about if it's poor conditions? Does it look like poor conditions? He looks quite well dressed, but his aura is more powerful than the environment. Good. Okay. Okay, let's stop on this picture. But, okay, why am I showing you this and a few others? It's just, you can see how whatever we observe, there are a number of different opinions to what we see. So we see, or let's say we observe and we see. You see the difference? We observe. So you're observing, but each one is seeing differently. Okay? The thing I also got from this is, despite what's happening, he's, in a sense, grateful for the, communication. Okay. Quickly on this. What does it entice in you? What feelings does it bring up in you, this thing? War. And bad feeling. Action, power. Is it good power? Positive power? Destructive power. What's right purpose about? Yeah, he only has one purpose. You mean if it's protecting your country? Mm. It's old. Oh, the brother's saying it's old, so it's just there as a museum piece. It's abandoned. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Nice weather, and it's there to just be observed. Okay, but once upon a time it was used for something, no? Okay, so now it's we decided it's a monument now. Okay. Okay, what about this? Child labor, poverty. Poor guy, poor kid. Is it a coal mine? I don't know if it's a coal mine, but hard worker, making his living at least. Huh? He looks full of hope. He's trying, right? He's doing his work. He's trying to achieve something. Survival, good, yeah. Being tough, good, yeah. So we send him good wishes. No, seriously, yeah. What about this? Not so bad, but still hard work, isn't it? Look at them bending. Can you bend like that every day? Be flexible. Adapting to the nature. Livelihood, yeah. You don't know what you will have to do for your survival. You know, there's an expression we have here called suddenly. Anything, like look at, sorry to mention his name, but Trump, how he just took over Venezuela, like suddenly. He just decided, he woke up one day and said, okay. And then, I don't know if you're aware, but not last year, I think year before in Kuwait, because I used to live in Kuwait for 17 years. So I was visiting, and just before that, they took away, I think it's something like, I don't know, 80,000 or 100,000 nationalities of Kuwaitis. So you wake up that morning and you realize that you're not a Kuwaiti anymore. They just stripped them of their nationality. Yeah. And so one of our friends, a well-to-do friend, she's a Syrian married to a Kuwaiti, so she's been living there for 40 years. And they just took away her identity, so she's gone back to the Syrian identity. But then if it's Syrian, then you have to get visa. Then they make that difficult. Now she's been living there and having big business, actually giving back to Kuwait, and this is what they do to her. So anything can happen suddenly, right? It's becoming lawless, isn't it? The world is becoming lawless. Nobody's playing by the rules anymore. Yeah. Yes, human creation, yeah. So anyway, back to this. What do you see? Exactly, yeah. So sister is saying we should stick to our moral values, not just stick to materialism. Yeah. Hmm.
My question is around, we know that we should feel peace,
Hmm.
we should act emotionally resilient, no matter what others are
Hmm.
saying. But sometimes it's being taken as a strength of weakness.
Hmm.
So, how to cope? Like, okay, no, I have to act patient, but not give back.
Hmm. No, but again, do you understand the question? Did you hear the question? You did? No, yeah. So sometimes we're asked to be calm and patient, but others take advantage of that. And they don't realize that we're being calm, not that we are being weak. So my first point is, who cares what they think? Right? And choose your battles. Choose which battle you want to fight. So I choose to fight the war, not the battle. And the war is against the peace. And these are other little battles along the way of what people think, what they might say. Just let it go. Yeah, it's not worth it.
And if it's really affecting your work, then I think it's better to give them a fact check without exaggerating.
If it's affecting your work, then give it a fact check. And and don't exaggerate. Yeah, good. Okay, just one or two more. Bharat. This is a familiar scene in Bharat, no? So what do you get from that? Yogi, sadhu, ghat, yeah. Renunciation, right? So again, join the dots. Do you think that by renouncing, I end up like that? Not necessarily. Yeah, I'm just questioning your thinking. You see, sometimes we see certain things and we think sadhu banna mana ye. Huh? There are many ways to become a yogi, not just one. Good.
So choose your battles.
Choose your battles.
If you become a family person, you can't become a yogi immediately.
Okay, so sister says once you become a family person, you can't become a yogi immediately. Okay.
Whatever you do, if you're making something good in the world, like adding some moral values, I think that is itself is a yogi.
Okay, so when you're adding some moral values to the world, you are already being a yogi. What about this? I think it's Delhi. Actually, when I show this in the West, they're like, what?
Oh my god, that's so messy.
Yeah.
Crowded.
Look at the wires.
But it's still
Huh? Gully in Delhi. No, but what do you read into the picture? Busy, chaotic. No, what do you like? Not just observe, but what do you see? Everyone is busy. Life goes on. People are trying to make a living. Daily living. No matter how messy it is, yeah, crowded. But again, the beauty of driving in India, it's just everybody just swans through, you know. Yeah, really, nobody gets mad. And you do one of those things in England and they're like cursing you and shouting at you and angry, and they lose their cool over these little things. While in Rome, do as the Romans do, yeah. Get used to, adjust to the situation. But also you feel homesick, no? When you see something like this, you say, oh, I want to be back in Bharat. I love this chaos, I love the smell, whatever. Yeah. And look at the rickshaw driver. Again, the hard work, right? Now, I don't know if this is Photoshop, but I don't know. When I see young children like this, I just think of pedophiles. But that may be my negative thinking. But young children are very innocent, very vulnerable, right? Anything else you see? Yeah, of course, beautiful blue eyes. Fear. discomfort. Frozen. She's also looking frozen, no? Like, yeah. I won't repeat that. Okay, what about this? Volcano erupting. So recently I was in Iceland and I didn't realize there's only about 300,000 to 400,000 Icelandic people in the world. Right? 3-4 lakh hi hai bas. And a lot of them got wiped off because of the volcanic eruptions. Because they were living there, they didn't realize it would explode, and so many millions got wiped off like that over the years before. And so now they just live on the coastal sides. So yeah, volcano. This actually also represents natural calamities. And you're suffocating, yeah. Nature's fury, yeah. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah. Because they had built the villages around the mountains. Now nobody lives in the middle of Iceland because that's mountainous area. It's very rough terrain. And so nobody lives there now. They just visit. But they live around the coast. So yeah, they got killed off. Anyway, just think of all the natural calamities and then are you afraid? Have you seen some of those photoshopped images of tsunamis? 200 feet waves and just consuming everything. So what are you going to do in that moment? Where are you going to run? Nowhere. Yeah, nature's more powerful. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, can't control anything external. That's why they say nature will always live on. Right? Ab jo bhi kuch karo, but nature will always live on. Nature will reproduce itself. Okay, just last couple of pictures. Would you like to be living there? No? You get good exercise going up and down. Maybe other side there's a lift. But very calm, very peaceful. Yeah. There's Shanti there, no? No IT. Shortcut to heaven. Pure oxygen. But there are people living there, right? So what makes them want to go? Who built that? Like, what makes them want to go there? So anyway, this idea of when we think of solitude and Shanti, like, do we think of like an escape to a place like this? Or do we think, no, man ki Shanti? And therefore, wherever I am, I'm carrying that with me. Yeah, I don't have to go to a mountaintop. Right? And this to me reminds me of God's creation. Look at the colors of everything. Nature, beauty, isn't it? Yeah, not destroying anything. Everything living in synergy, harmony with each other. Right? Even the flower is saying, okay, take. Nectar, yeah. Anything else from this? Life. Freedom. Ecosystem, good, yeah. Lovely. So, okay, the point of all this was that we look at things and we judge, and sometimes we look at things and there is an emotional reaction. And the reason why there's an emotional reaction is because there's some association with that. And I have to just stop and observe, okay, what's going on? Why am I reacting to this? Okay, let me give you an example, okay? So, somebody comes along and they say, hi Aruna, how are you? Right, can you see? Can you see? They're hitting me here, right? Huh? Okay, they're patting me here, but to me it feels like they're hitting me. Okay? They're patting me out of love and kindness, but then I say, ouch! Why am I saying ouch? Why is it hurting me?
Your emotional reaction to not prepared.
Not prepared,
You are under stress.
not comfortable. I say ouch because this hand hurts. Right? I've got a wound here that this person doesn't know about. So they come, they just out of love say, hi, how are you? And I'm like, ouch. So when something hurts, it's inside of me, isn't it? It's not them necessarily intending to hurt you. When people are doing things, they are just doing things. They don't have a conspiracy to hurt you. But it hurts us because we have the wound inside. Something is not healed inside. There's an expectation or a want, a need, something. And that's why we get hurt. Okay, so we need to look at that. So this is why I'm saying there's associations with things, and we just have to do a lot of inner work, self-reflection, self-awareness to see, okay, what is it that we're doing? Where is it that we're going wrong? What's happening? And it's not about them, it's about me. This thing has come to teach me something about myself. So going back to the title, right? The tough get going. When tough things happen, I really have to have that inner resilience and power and say, you know what? I have the capacity to deal with this. It's not about them. I'm going to build that inner capacity. Are you understanding? Yeah? Yeah. So no need to blame. I just take responsibility. Responsibility is opposite of blame. When I blame, I'm saying you. When I take responsibility, it's me.
What if it's other way around? I am the person who's probably hitting you and then you're hurting and then I'm feeling bad about you that I did it. How to deal the other way around?
So sister's asking, okay, this person hit me and now they're feeling bad that they hurt me. So yeah, it's a wake-up call. Like, it's a lesson. Like, don't go do that to everyone. They're not comfortable. So you learned your lesson. Yeah, it's okay. I think what I'd like to do is stop here, and then we move into the tips and tools part. So we can have the break now. Vasanta Ben? Deepika? Yeah? So I think you're allowed like a 15-minute break. And then we come back and we do the second half of this. And then I'm happy to take some questions and then we'll do some meditation as well. Is that okay?